Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Please subscribe to my channel, it will mean a lot to me. If you're not new, I begged you last week, you still did not subscribe. Why? You're playing hard to get. Don't worry, I have very low standards. I will continue to beg every week. Anyway, today we're making akara, beautiful, golden, soft, airy, fluffy akara. If you'd like to know how I made this, then please keep watching. So for my akara, I will be using white beans, and I've been soaking this for about 3 hours, and now it's softened up for me to peel. And you know it's softened up to peel when the peel comes off, or the skin comes off, when you kind of squeeze it between your fingers. And because peeling beans by hand is so 90s, I will be using the food processor instead. So I've transferred the beans into the food processor, just added just a little bit of water, cover, and then I will pulse a couple of times. What the food processor does is it breaks the beans into two, and once that happens, the peel automatically falls off. So I will be repeating this a couple of times, and then once I see that it's gotten to a stage where I can, or a state where I can continue to peel by hand, I will stop and then peel the rest in the sink. And after peeling, I will transfer the beans into my blender and then add just a little bit of water. Please refrain from adding too much water to your akara batter. You need the batter to be very, very thick. You can add some more as you go, but maybe in like tablespoons, but please refrain from adding too much. 2 tips for blending beans if you haven't got very powerful blender is one, you can first of all soak the beans for about 3 to 6 hours, and that way the beans would have softened a bit and your blender will be able to handle it better. Another thing you can do is to blend first using your food processor. That way the beans is broken down fast, and then it's much easier for your blender to handle. And after blending, this is what your paste should look like. Very thick and quite fluffy. And once you're able to achieve this consistency, then you know you're good to go. And you notice that I didn't add any onions or peppers to my blend, and that's because I didn't want it too watery. And now I'm going to use my mini food processor to blend some onions and scotch bonnet peppers. You can also use bell peppers if you want, but this is going to be eaten by Yoruba people. You know now, we like pepper. And now I'm going to incorporate air into this batter, and this will make it very light, fluffy, and airy. And also, when I'm frying the akara, it's not going to soak too much oil. It's just going to float on the top. And you need to mix this for about 10 to 15 minutes. You can also use a stand mixer. If you haven't got a stand mixer or a hand mixer, you can use a pestle, but that means you will be mixing for about 20 minutes. You can also use a hand whisk. See how light and fluffy it is? It looks just like ice cream. This is what you're aiming for. So just try as much as possible to mix, until you achieve this sort of consistency. And to this, I will be adding the blended pepper and onions. I will also be adding some salt and some stock cubes that I have dissolved in water. And now I'm going to mix this again thoroughly, and then I will whisk again for about 5 minutes. And I forgot to mention that you can actually use a food processor as well for this process if it's got a whisk attachment. And after that's done, it's time to fry some akara. Here I've got some vegetable oil heating up, and I'm going to start scooping the batter into the oil. I'm going to be using a spoon. You can also use an ice cream scoop. I'm going to make sure I do this in equal sizes just so my akara can look pretty and presentable. And a good tip for frying is to dip your spoon in cold water after each scoop, and this will help the batter release better. Try not to overcrowd the pan so the temperature of the oil does not drop too much, although I think I need to take the advice for myself. Once they're golden brown to your satisfaction, then it's time to flip them over. Frying time should be about 6 to 7 minutes, and once you flip over, it shouldn't be more than 3 minutes. See how my akaras are just bouncing in the Lord. Man, these are really, really beautiful. And once they're golden brown on both sides, then it's time to transfer them into a colander or a paper towel lined tray. And at this time, I'm going to fry the second batch, and as you can see, it's pretty much like the first batch, very airy, and they're just floating on the top. And once they're well fried again, I will be transferring them into a colander. See how beautiful and soft my akara turned out. And that's all for today. And if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.